Today I picked up something pretty cool. It is the Call of Duty Zombies comic. I'm a little bit late to the game, admittedly. This thing came out 10 days ago on iOS. However, I don't have an iOS device. Now, I did go through the process of downloading iTunes, purchasing the comic book, trying to open up the file, and I could not open that John up, unfortunately. It just would not go. And I didn't want to go through the process of pirating the comic book, just out of respect for Jason Blundell, Craig Houston, and everybody that worked on this comic, from the writers to the artists. It just didn't seem fair, so I decided to wait until it came out physically, and I picked it up today in stores. I read through all of it, and I thought I would do a quick review of the comic. It's a short story, 24 pages. I mean, you can breeze through this story in maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on how slowly you're reading, whether or not you're taking the time to actually look at the artwork and really explore the pages. It varies person to person. Either way, it's a short story. It won't take you that long. That might be one of my issues with this. I understand it's a serialized novel, and each one can't be 50 to 70 pages long like a novella, but when we're waiting 2 months between comics, the next one comes out December 21st, having these really short stories almost becomes a little bit underwhelming. I'm sure when we have them all together, all 6 together, you can read it like a great novella. However, when we have to read 24 pages every 2 months, it's slow and it really draws things out. 2 months are going to come around, and I almost feel like I'm going to forget about it. If this was maybe every month, I wouldn't care as much, but every 2 months is a long wait between 24 pages. Now let's move into the plot. This is an action-driven plot. There's no exploration, there are no discoveries and revelations. This story is never character-driven, it's always action-driven. It almost seems like a bunch of action events that drive the next action event or connect to another event going on elsewhere. I'm being vague intentionally, I don't want to create spoilers. And that's a little bit disappointing. To me, that's not what Call of Duty Zombies is about. Call of Duty Zombies is about the discovery, the lore, understanding it slowly, and putting the pieces together like a puzzle. There are no puzzles in this story, unfortunately. Nothing's all that subtle. Even the ciphers are plastered on the wall in big yellow font. I've looked through the pages to find little details and small Easter eggs, and unfortunately, I can't find any. Maybe I'm missing them, but there aren't that many. Like, for example, there's a shot of some cupboards with food in them. What I really wanted to see and what I was looking for was maybe one of the brands that we saw in Shadows of Evil referenced in this world, or maybe some kind of Dr. Monty branded item. I thought that would have been a fun little subtle nod to everything else in the zombie storyline, and I wanted that in this story. However, it just wasn't there. This was mainly more of a setup. I mean, let's look at the opening page as they explain who our characters are. Russman. So many secrets, so many layers, like an onion. Dear old Stuhlinger, blessed with the gift of voices inside his head. Marlton, the engineer who knows it all. Nerd. Misty, the girl who will ensure this endeavor is a resounding success. And that's what's going on here. It's setting up the characters. We can see how they interact, and I guess that really shines through in these action scenes. We can see who works well together, how they interact, what the power dynamics are, but I want more discoveries. I want them to go on an adventure. This is supposed to be a journey as our characters learn about the Chronorium, an artifact that contains almost all of the knowledge in the universe. I want to learn more about the Siggy universe. I want to explore it, and that doesn't come across as well when it's just a series of action scenes. And I don't mean to tear this apart, because there are things about this comic book that I like. For example, I'm happy to see our zombies characters again. I also like to see some of the references to Black Ops 3. While they're not very subtle, they're definitely there. For example, in the corner of the page it reads, "My name is Edward Richtofen, and I have been trying so very hard." On the next page it then reads, "To do the right thing." I want more of that. Please, 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 I would love more of that. And I also really do enjoy the addition of the new Nuketown loading screen at the end of the comic. And while we're on the same page, the new Nazi zombie, the leader zombie, is also a very new and interesting dynamic. I would have loved to see us explore him more. Maybe cut out some of the earlier parts of the story and spend more time exploring the new Nazi zombie. I think that would have been great. And in addition to that, let's also talk about the cover. The cover is relatively unrelated to everything in this story. Now the cover will change from comic to comic. The next cover features Russman fighting in what we believe to be the Broken Arrow headquarters. That seems relevant to that specific story. However, this one is just a zombie Richtofen with some crawlers in the background who aren't featured in the story. A zombie with a headband. We don't need to touch on her, because I guess there are regular zombies in the story, but like there's no zombie Richtofen in the story. There are no crawlers in the story so far. And there doesn't have to be, but I would like it if the cover was a bit more indicative of what's actually in this version of the serial. Overall, though, it's not terrible, and I'm excited for what's coming next. I think we are going to continue to learn more about our universe. I'm just disappointed there are no real big revelations. This is the introduction, the setup, and hopefully, as we continue down this journey, we will get more of that. I'm excited for what's to come next because I think there is a lot of potential, and I know Jason Blundell can deliver a great story. That's going to wrap things up, though, for this review of the comic. I'd recommend you stay tuned, though. There are several things in this story that I can't wait to explore in upcoming videos. I'm probably going to be talking about this comic book for the next week right now because there are a bunch of things that are definitely worth discussing. Have a wonderful day, though. I'm going to go, and bye.